It is more so talking about the pros of being an entrepreneur, not bashing 9 to 5 work life. So I wanted to preface that first and provide that disclaimer so y'all ain't going back and saying Alana is bashing 9 to 5ers. This ain't that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Alana Marie, filmmaker, digital content creator, and video content coach. And you are in a community for other novice and experienced documentary filmmakers and video content creators that are desiring to move their content from ideation to execution. Today, what I wanted to touch on is a question that I get asked a lot since I've only been an entrepreneur since this past January when I quit my job in College Access. And I always get asked, like, what made me do it? How long have I been thinking about it? So today's topic is going to be about why I decided to become an entrepreneur. And with that, I want to preface this video by saying this is not a 9 to 5 bashing video. This ain't that. Every industry and job has its role and its place. My 9 to 5, my employer has brought me through many seasons, has kept the roof over my head, has kept food in my stomach, has taught me great lessons, and has shifted me to where I am right now. But in this new season of my life and getting to the point where I wanted to go ahead and take that leap, it is more so talking about the pros of being an entrepreneur, not bashing 9 to 5 work life. So I wanted to preface that first and provide that disclaimer so y'all ain't going back and saying Alana is bashing 9 to 5ers. This ain't that. First and foremost, the reason why I made the decision to become an entrepreneur was because I wanted sole autonomy over my time. I can always make more money. I can never get more time back. So the time that has been allotted to me in this lifetime, I want to have as much say over how I spend that time as possible. And so primarily for me, it was more so about my time than the money. The money is important too, and I'm going to get to that. But from how I wake up in the morning to how I navigate my day to the type of hours that I want to work or how I want to show up in the workplace to spending time with my family. Like, I wanted to have control over that time. I didn't want an employer, organization, company, institution dictating how I spent my time. Another reason why I made the decision to become an entrepreneur is because I wanted to dictate my earning potential. I didn't want to have to wait for a 6-month performance review, 12-month performance review to go over my skills and what I've learned over that year to push me up a few cents or a few dollars until the next performance review. I wanted to dictate how much money I wanted to bring into my home. I know my worth, I know my value, I know the energy and passion that I put forth in the things that I really care about, that I do believe would be of great service to other people. And I wanted to dictate that price point and increase it as need be based on where I feel that I am, not where somebody else says my value stops at this certain point in time or for those next 6 months or for the following year until I have my next review to tell me how much more I can make within that year. I didn't want to be capped. I don't want to cap how much I'm able to bring forth into my household. So I want to dictate how much money I bring in. Another reason is because I've learned that I work best at non-traditional work hours. I am not a morning person. I never have been. I don't desire to be. That is not a goal of life in life of mine to get up at 5, 6 in the morning. Yes, periodically I have moments where I have to, but I'm not a morning person. I don't work best in the morning. So I've learned that my optimal work hours are typically between 11 and 3 and 9 and 11 p.m. at night on average. And so most employers are not going to say, okay, which time works best for you to come in. I know how my body performs at these certain points and times throughout the day. And I wanted to control that. And the only way I could control that is if I became an entrepreneur. Fourth reason is because me and micromanagement are like oil and water. Me and bureaucracy is also like oil and water. And the job that I had before, I loved my supervisors. I loved the people that I worked with. But on average, for the jobs that I have worked for throughout the duration of my adulthood, that has been an issue and that does not work well for me. I wanted to control how I worked. I wanted to manage myself. And the whole concept of make yourself look busy, even though you've already completed your work. No, fam, no, that does not, this, that's not my ministry. And so that would always bother me. And I'm very much a person whose emotions and feelings wear on their sleeves and on their face. And it just got worse over time. Like I can manage myself, and any hiccups or mistakes that I make along the way, I'm the one providing myself grace and I'm the one that has to deal with it. And so learning how to manage myself in this season, the hours that I work best, how much energy to put forth during that point in time, and correcting myself when necessary. I wanted to be able to dictate that for myself. A fifth reason is going along with the autonomy of my time is I wanted to have more time with my family. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and my husband and I are actually looking to expand our family. And whenever that happens, I know that I will be at home. And so the whole navigating maternity leave, sick leave, paternity leave, and not getting paid. So I wanted to generate skills that I could get revenue while I was at home. So I wanted to develop skills that would help me generate revenue from the house while I'm here with my kids, or whenever schools open back up, I can be more involved in the classroom. I can volunteer midday. I can pick her up right after school and not have to spend money on aftercare. I can just be more involved in the daily activities of my family and my children without having to worry about calling off and using PTO. And I want to be able to have more control throughout the day and spend more time with my family because they are more important than the work that is being produced. And I don't like the idea of having to fight with employers and go back and forth with, this is why I need this time off. Number 6 is probably the most timely because of the world's climate right now, is COVID's unpredictability. Jobs are being let go left and right. Businesses are dissolving. Businesses are going bankrupt. And I just, knowing that my employment, my finances are up in the air and are contingent upon an employer. Granted, a lot of this is not within our control, and I understand it completely from an employer standpoint of, if we're not bringing in revenue, if people aren't coming in to purchase our product or our service, we don't have any money to pay you. I get that part, but I can be proactive in figuring out, okay, so what are things that I can do, skills that I can enhance, so I can therefore bring in revenue for myself and for my home. We don't know when COVID is going to let up. We don't know what the economy is going to look like over the next couple of months and the next couple of years moving down the line. And I don't want what my fate to be controlled by for as much as I can control, right? COVID. And as long as I have my computer, as long as I have my internet, and as long as I have a brain and spirit for learning and a capacity to just soak in as much knowledge as I can and to apply it and to provide useful services for other people that they are willing to pay for, I'll be fine. And because of COVID, we are in a space where we don't know what we're going to do about our daughter's schooling, if she will be in the building, if she will be at home, if there will be another round of COVID coming in the fall and the wintertime. So I'm preparing myself for what that could potentially look like. And if I need to be at home, which I am at home, but also designated that time to assist her with homeschooling and being able to work on my business from the comfort of my own home. And lastly, I wanted to bet on myself. I wanted to know how it felt to say yes to myself 100%. I know what it feels like to get up in the morning and sit in traffic and go to work and spend 8 hours in one setting and just bring in revenue for other companies and organizations and institutions. I know what that feels like. I didn't know what it felt like to say yes to myself and go through the waves of figuring things out and really wholeheartedly pushing myself to my furthest capacity. I didn't know what that felt like. I didn't know what that looked like. And ultimately, it came down to when I was at my last job, my direct supervisor was retiring, and I had already put in the atmosphere that I eventually would be leaving that job too, but I was going back and forth. And she basically hit me with the, like, Alana, you know what it feels like to work a 9 to 5. You have a degree. 9 to 5s are not going anywhere. Granted, this was pre-COVID. But if I need to go back and get a job, I know how to do that because that's all I've known how to do. That's what I've been conditioned to do since I went to college and graduated. We are conditioned to go to school, graduate, get a job, not go to school, graduate, and create our own jobs and work for ourselves. And so she really encouraged me to make that decision to pour into myself and invest in myself. And even though the world is in the state that it's in, immediately after I had left my job, I was able to put more of myself into my film. I hosted a sold out community screening for my documentary. What else did I do? I was able to spend time and thoroughly plan out my crowdfunding campaign, which takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And I was able to raise over $20,000 for post-production of my documentary, which was my goal. And I was able to focus on services that I wanted to provide. I got better at photography. I got better at videography. I was able to get clients, some of which have been let go because of COVID. But I got to see what it was like to fully invest in myself and my skill set and provide my own services to other people. And people found value in that. And it is I don't really know how to describe the feeling, but knowing that people find value in your gifts is an amazing feeling. And so ultimately betting on myself, at least for this current season, was one of the best decisions that I have ever made. Even in the midst of COVID, I do not regret my decision for leaving my job and becoming an entrepreneur. And that's also not to say that down the line in the future, should I ever decide to join the workforce again, that won't happen. Your girl still be on Indeed.com every day, y'all. It wasn't just this light switch that came that I just felt super confident. I still carry a lot of imposter syndrome. I still carry a lot of anxiety and worry about, do I fully know what I'm doing? Can I bring in clients? Can I maintain my household? Those thoughts still are in me and they do worry me sometimes, but I'm continuing to push through and work through and going to therapy and getting a business coach and just taking my precious time and pushing through that fear. So who knows, maybe I join the workforce again. I'm glad that it's there and it has sustained me for majority of my life. But I am also even more glad that in this season that Alana, the woman, has decided to pour into her gifts and fully invest in her gifts and getting rewarded right now as well. So those are just some of the reasons why I decided to become an entrepreneur. Are you considering transitioning? Are you considering leaving your job? What are you considering? What season are you in? Be sure to leave the comments below and let me know where you are and we can have a conversation about it. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Again, Alana did not tell you to go and quit your job. Alana gave her personal reasons for why she decided to become an entrepreneur. Now, should you decide to take that and implement that into your own world, that is between you and the Lord that you serve. But as for me and my house, this all has to do with me. So if you are another video content creator who is needing assistance in moving their content from ideation to execution, or if you are having trouble articulating the content that you want to produce and you need somebody to sit down with and pull it out of you, or if you're having trouble discerning what media platforms to upload your content to, I'm here to help y'all. I will leave a link below. I provide 60-minute consultations to help you with those very pain points that you have within your content creation process. I'm here to help. I love talking about content creation. I love talking about documentary filmmaking. And I'm here, clearly I have nothing but time, to aid and help and support you along this journey. Until next time. And